Imagine being 15 and giving birth on Monday and being back in school on Thursday after they took your baby from you.
Every day we watch videos and hear stories of teenage pregnancy that has made it look like it has become the norm, like a rite of passage or a mere bump into adulthood. But the truth is that as we are ignoring teenage pregnancies, we are not only ignoring the devastating consequences of what this action can do to these kids, and is definitely going to last a lifetime. We are actively perpetuating a cycle of disadvantages that threaten to derail the future of these young kids. I think it is time for us to stop sugarcoating the truth and face the harsh reality, which is teenage pregnancy. It is a huge crisis that demands our time, our attention, and our action. In any way we wish to do it, we need to eradicate this crisis that is derailing the future of our young kids.
Imagine being 15 and giving birth on Monday and being back in school on Thursday after they took your baby from you. Some people may not like this, but when my students have come to me as teenagers telling me that they are pregnant, expecting a child, I don't congratulate them. I don't. We have a conversation about how they're feeling, what are their thoughts about the pregnancy. I ask them, are they okay? But it's nothing to celebrate. It's nothing to celebrate a child having a child. It's really not. We understand that children, we all come from God, but I don't. And this particular student who was 15, had a baby, like it was nothing, took her baby from her, came to school like it was nothing, and trying to have a conversation with her about how she was feeling, it was very much like, leave me alone, like I'm okay, like girl, like why y'all so worried about me, let me be. Everyone's trying to check in and make sure she's good because we're all confused as to like, you just had a baby, your body, you're walking around school like nothing ever happened. And also your child is not with you. Your child is in, DHS custody. And again, the disconnect, like the ability to disconnect just shows how much these babies are out here just doing anything. Like they don't even understand what's happening with their body, like just the life-threatening thing that just happened by giving birth. And you're on to the next thing. You're on to the next thing, which is why we just have to do better with raising our children. Like, these are adult decisions being made, being done. And when people are trying to check in with them, it's hard for them to receive it because it's like, it's almost like you're not used to anybody caring. So when somebody does care, they do reach out for help to help you. The people who are trying to help get a lot of like pushback. Trust me, I've experienced it, and I've had to be patient and I've had to just, wait for them to come to me, because when you're just used to, like I said, people just kind of ignoring you, not paying you no mind, it can feel like a lot when people are actually checking in with you, especially after something like giving birth and, your child is gone and just processing all of that. But it's a real unfortunate thing of just how having children is what is promoted and encouraged, and all you talk about is when you're going to have a baby, and we celebrate this stuff, and we just, it's just tough. It's tough conversations that I've had with young girls, and the generation of where we are today it's tough.
Obviously, there is going to be a disconnection from a teenager to his or her child. This is like a child having a child, except from very few. However, exceptions do not make the rule. Most teenagers make wrong choices due to teenage exuberance. And teenage exuberance refers to the characteristics of teenagers, which include impulsiveness, recklessness, and high enthusiasm. This usually leads them to making poor decisions, disregarding and damning the consequences of whatever it is that they choose to do at that particular time. For example, they are more susceptible to peer pressure. This is when you see teenagers intending to have sex, having unprotected sex, and getting pregnant. And most times they feel invincible, that nothing can happen to them. They damn the consequences and they feel nonchalant towards whatever bad behavior they are exhibiting at that time.
We need to stop glorifying young moms. I was a mom at 19, had my kid at 19. But it is not cute to be a young mom, okay? Like, it's not something that you should be ecstatic about. I was not ecstatic when I found out. It's not something like, oh my god, like I'm pregnant. No. I feel like a lot of girls these days, like, you know, I'll come with my son. Obviously, it's cute, you know, like I have a kid. Like, oh my god, like, I want to have a kid too. I'm trying with my man. And the girl's here talking and she's like 20. What do you mean you're trying? No. Guys, live your life before you have your kid. I don't regret mine, but live your life. Go out, go on trips, go have an adventure. You do not need these responsibilities right now. And if you're thinking of having a kid, please think otherwise. Having a kid is such a big responsibility in your life. Like, sometimes I still wake up and I'm like, damn, I'm a mom. Like, I have someone to be responsible for the rest of my life. And I don't want to say like, oh, until he's 18. No, because once you're a mom, period. Also, this is not to say that if you get pregnant, you know, you should give away your baby and it's going to be a hard life. No, I mean, if you're not pregnant and you're thinking maybe it's a good idea and you're young to have a kid, like right now, like maybe you'll be able to keep him if you have the kid, or Lord knows what your thought process is. Not a good idea. And to preface, this is not me saying that if you get pregnant at a young age, your life is going to be horrible and whatever. I'm doing it. I'm living great. But this is me to say, if you are not pregnant at all and you're a young woman and you think it's a good idea for whatever reason to have a kid, because maybe you're going to keep your man, or maybe it just looks like a good time, don't do it.
Having a baby at 11 is wild. Having a baby at 11 is crazy. I had her at 12. So first, get your
The way it would have took 40 days and 40 nights, the Marine, the Army, 10 New York City crackheads, 9 Chicago crackheads, 8 Atlanta crackheads, and probably Jesus himself to get my mother's hands from around my throat if I was to ever come home talking about I'm pregnant. At 11, she made her mom a grandmother at 28. Because her mom also had her at a young age. And then she's talking about, oh, I want to have 2 more kids before 20. What's going on? Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I know people, they want to have kids young, but y'all are normalizing that's not even teenage pregnancy. That's pre-teenage pregnancy. How are y'all providing for your kids at that age? You're not even old enough to buy cold medicine. You have to be 18. What life are you funding for that child? What can you really give that child at 12 years old? Like, I'm very confused. And she was like, well, I had her at 12. Baby, you was still pregnant at 11. And apparently it's generational trauma because her grandmother and her mother had kids before 16. Because if my math is math and her mom is 28 and she's 15, that means her mom had her kid at 13. So yeah, it's giving generational trauma. It's giving the apple don't fall too far from the tree. But the way she's trying to eat these older folks up, like, at least I'm not 30 having kids. After 30, your eggs dry up. Who needs to tell her? Who needs to tell her after 30, your eggs do not dry up? After a certain age, it's a risk factor, but yes, you can still have kids. But who are you bumping and grinding with at 11 years old? And is that kid also 11 years old? Like, I'm just very confused. Where's the baby father? Where's your mother?
Getting pregnant at 11. Is that even medically possible? Well, yeah, it is, because periods starts by the age of 11 to 13, depending on individual. However, I just wanted to mention something that the lady said here. She mentioned that the girl she was talking about, that her mom got pregnant during her teenage years. So do you guys think it's a family pattern? Because that is where my mind is going towards. Like, it is a generational something.
Can we stop normalizing teen pregnancy?
Existing as a teen mom and sharing your experiences is not normalizing teen pregnancy. Every time a teen mom posts about her kids or whatever, the comments are always flooded with, "Stop normalizing teen pregnancy. You're gonna make other girls want to get pregnant too. You ruined your life." As if she can go back in time and unimpregnate herself. And using your For You page filled with videos of teen moms as evidence of an increase in teen pregnancy is called confirmation bias, because teen pregnancy is still very stigmatized and at an all-time low. 82% of teen pregnancies are accidental, so if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything, because teen parents have it hard enough as it is. Pregnancies start increasing. This whole stop normalizing teen pregnancy discourse is so unnecessary, because a lot of y'all are using it as an excuse to shit on teen parents who are already struggling and who didn't want to be pregnant in the first place. And if you really did care about lowering the rates of teen pregnancy, either encourage abstinence or preferably fight for better system and access to birth control.
Stop normalizing teen pregnancy. Coming from a pregnant teen. I'm 27 weeks pregnant. I'm 18. I found out I was pregnant at 17. I'm finally in the 3rd trimester. But I just want to talk about this. I saw a post. The post wasn't about it, but the comments were. And I low-key agreed with them. And whenever I say stop normalizing it, I don't mean so much as normalizing as I do glamorizing. There are girls genuinely going through it. And all of a sudden, it's like a trend to be pregnant. I know you know what I'm talking about, because all of a sudden everyone's pregnant. I just feel like it's not being taken as serious as it needs to be. And there are girls being overlooked by everybody else glamorizing them. Of course, I'm going to post about it. I'm going to make the best out of it as I can, because, like, I'm not religious or anything, but having a baby is a blessing, and it is an amazing and beautiful thing. But there is so much that teen girls go through, and it's like nobody is taking that into consideration. They're just doing it because everybody else is. Like, it's a friend. Like, for example, me, I still go to a public high school. I came out, I announced that I was pregnant, and all of a sudden, people are just doing it all of a sudden, all because everyone else is, somebody else is. It just makes me feel so bad, because I was genuinely going through it for months, and I know that there are other girls out there that go through and it's like, I can't even imagine the people that the girls that have had no help throughout their pregnancy, had nobody there for them. Because for a while I didn't either, because I didn't tell anybody for a good 4.5 months. The first 4.5 months all the way up until halfway in my 2nd trimester, nobody knew, because I was genuinely terrified to tell people, first of all. But like, I had no one, and seeing people posting about like things in their pregnancy and like glamorizing, I feel terrible. Like, some girls don't have that help. Some girls don't have their baby daddy in the picture. Some girls don't have their family in the picture to support them. Like, and people don't think about that. Like, that's what I mean whenever I say people are not being considerate about it at all, taking way more serious than it is. And
when you go to TikTok, you see a lot of teenage moms glamorizing and normalizing teenage pregnancy and motherhood. You see them, they make a lot of money, and sometimes even much more than their counterparts. And this has led a lot of teenagers, or some teenagers, to think that this can be a way of life. However, forgetting that social media is a highlight. You only show things that you excel at. You don't show your struggles. And to be very honest, I'm not a mother yet, but I know that motherhood comes with a lot of struggle, psychologically, physiologically, and otherwise. And being a teenager who is pregnant and eventually becoming a mom, you go through so much more struggles, because you're not even mentally and physically mature to go through the process of teenage pregnancy and motherhood. Teenage pregnancies can take a huge toll on kids. It can lead to delayed physical and mental development. Also, teenage pregnancies can lead to anemia, specifically iron deficiency anemia, because generally teenagers have low levels of iron. Teenage pregnancies can also lead to osteoporosis. I know this is strange to hear, but from a medical perspective, it can. There is also increase in postpartum hemorrhage, dental issues, and nutritional deficiencies. These are more are the risks associated with teenage pregnancy, and I don't think it is worth it at all to risk your life just because of TikTok views or whatever you think you're going to gain online. Might also experience high levels of depression, anxiety, and any mental illness there is. Of course, we need to support teenagers that are already pregnant or already have babies, because there's literally nothing we can do about it. However, going onward, we need to shun, disregard, and do not glamorize or normalize teenage pregnancies or anything that could lead to it.
Seriously, can we stop normalizing teen pregnancy? Getting pregnant in high school is not normal. And look, it's good that y'all completed high school and graduated. Congratulations. But like, that's the bare minimum. And nowadays, college is the bare minimum. I'm actually so glad I'm no longer in high school anymore, because the things I'm seeing now, I can't imagine my reaction how I would be in high school a couple of years ago. And I honestly feel bad for the parents and can't imagine their reaction. Imagine, the dad is working hard all day and he comes home and his daughter comes up to him and says, "Oh, Dad, I'm pregnant." Like, what? And I'll say it again, having kids when you're a kid is not normal. And my mom said it best. These people, in a sense, have ruined their lives. They will never, ever have freedom ever again. And this is one scenario which I think parents should interfere with their kids' friendships, because that way they don't get influenced by the wrong people. But that's all I gotta say, man. What are your all's thoughts on this?
I do not think teenagers who has gotten pregnant has ruined their life. Honestly, that is a stretch, because I know a couple of people that gave birth to their children while they were teenagers. Of course, they had it harder than every other person, but they were still able to pick up their broken pieces and move on in life. However, that should not be a basis of saying, "Oh, okay, yeah, I saw someone who did it, someone who got pregnant and eventually turned out successful, so I too can do it." Is it not better we learn from other people's mistakes, than doing the same?
I feel like our generation was so traumatized by teen pregnancy scares, birth control, Plan B, that my homegirl's telling me she's pregnant and I'm reacting like I'm 16. We're 24.
You want to know something crazy? I hid my pregnancy of my daughter from my parents for like 7 months while I was living with them. And the only reason why they found out was because I told them.
I gave birth at 15, and this is why I'd never recommend being a teen mum. I see all the time people saying that they want to be a teen mum, and just don't do it. People will say to you, it gets easier, but it doesn't. It's just got 10 times harder the older she gets. You have to be so selfless, you can't see your friends as much, you have to turn down plans, you have to worry about money, finances, what the baby needs, lack of sleep. I did my GCSEs with a 1-year-old, and trust me, it was not fun. Postpartum depression, anxiety. This is what being a teen mum is. Not even a teen mum, just a mum in general. It is hard. And trust me, mums do not get credited enough for what they do. You have to see your friends going out and enjoying themselves while you're stuck at home with a baby. I love my daughter Ivy and I would never take her back, but it is goddamn hard and I would not do it if I was you.
Okay, I don't know if it's just me, but I'm 25 and I'm pregnant, and sometimes I feel like I'm a teen mom. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I'm a teen mom. I forget, like, I'm 25, and 25 is, like, an age where it's, like, normal to get pregnant. Like, I'm married, like, this is normal, like, having a baby next after getting married. But, like, when I'm in public, people look at me like I'm, like, it's, like, a teen pregnancy or something, because it's, like, I feel like everyone has their kids in their 30s now, so, like, being 25 and pregnant is, like, the new teen pregnancy or teen mom. And it's like, I have my little bump, like, even when I go to the gym and I just catch people doing, like, the double take, and it just feels so weird. I'm like, I'm an adult, like, this is gonna be my child, like, I'm gonna be responsible. I don't know if it's just me that feels like this, but, like, that's what crosses my mind all the time.
In my opinion, being 25 and pregnant is definitely normal. I believe that from your mid-20s upwards, it should be okay, because by then your frontal lobe is developed and you're able to make right decisions for yourself and for your future, most importantly.
Alright, y'all, story time. So you know the saying, don't trust your kids around other kids because you don't know what other kids have been through? It's true. When I was growing up, my parents were foster parents, and at the age of 12, I was SA'd by one of them. And shortly after he returned home to his biological family, I knew that I was pregnant, but I hid it from my parents until 6 weeks before I gave birth. Don't ask me how. They had a brand new baby themselves, so maybe I hid it as well as I intended to. So yes, at 12 years old, I was pregnant, and thank God for Jesus Christ. He has given me everything that I needed in life to survive as a super young teen mom who chose to keep her baby. It certainly wasn't from the judgment of so many people that I've gotten my entire life.
What if I told you that teen pregnancy rates have actually been declining steadily since 1991? According to the CDC, teen pregnancy rates have been declining since 1991 with the exception of years 2006 and 2007. You just see it more because of social media. Now, the jury is still out on exactly why teen birth rates are declining, but it's likely due to better sex education, more teens using some sort of birth control, and I'd like to think that it's because people are sharing their stories and seeing the reality of teen pregnancies.
So I saw a couple of other videos that talked about the gross experiences you might have when pregnant, and I decided to include some of them. So watch.
Sadly, it's very true when you are pregnant that you have to eat your pregnancy craving or you will be nauseous. Unfortunately, that is my case. I will be nauseous all day until I get my pregnancy craving. And today, that is a chalupa and cinnamon delights from Taco Bell. And I'm not nauseous anymore.
Prior to TikTok, I thought pregnancy was literally just being uncomfortable for 9 months because you have this huge belly. You can't fit any of your clothes anymore. You're always hungry. You're throwing up. Your moods are out of whack because your hormones are all over the place. That's all pregnancy was in my brain prior to TikTok. This girl posted a TikTok today about how she had flawless skin before she got pregnant. Soon as she got pregnant, she had cystic acne. She showed a cluster of her acne bumps on her forehead. I promise you, the smallest one was about this big. Her skin didn't go back to normal until almost a year after she got pregnant. She had acne scars all over her face. She looked like a completely different person. One lady, her teeth fell out. Her teeth fell out. Another woman posted how after she had her baby, she got cancer. And they're just like, oh, well, it's not linked to the pregnancy. It was just laying dormant. The fact that that even happened is, one lady got alopecia. She had, as soon as that sperm was implanted in that egg, alopecia. Her hair was falling out. Even the women with the kids, even the women with the babies already out of their vag, this lady woke up to go check on her toddler in his room. He had smeared his all over the wall. She had to clean up shit off the wall. It just gets worse. It gets worse. It gets worse. Y'all don't have to convince me not to have kids anymore. I get it. I get it. I get it. I promise you I get it. You don't have to tell me no more.
Gross things about pregnancy that nobody tells you about. Coming from an 18-year-old, 26-week pregnant today girl. And this is about to be really personal, so if you get grossed out, scroll. First, your coochie will stink. It will. Your coochie, your underarms, your boobs, it all sweats and it all stinks. Like you could wash and scrub daily. By the end of the day, you are sweaty and you stink. Like, you're musty, you're sweaty. And I wash myself every single day. And before I got pregnant, I used to wash myself with the unscented soap. Out the window as soon as I got pregnant, because out of nowhere I said, why am I smelling like that? And I had to switch to scented soap. That's how bad it is. I have to reapply deodorant like 5 times a day. Number 2, you will be gassy. Gassy. When I tell you gassy, I mean like I've been scared by what's came out of me before. It's not just that, but it hurts. Like, the gas gets stuck inside you that it hurts so bad that I had to look up how to get it out. I kid you not, I spent 90% of my time the first 3 months of my pregnancy in a freaking farting pose. If you don't know what that is, don't get pregnant, because then you will have to know what that is. Because third, you will be constipated. And I'm not talking about no 2-3 days constipated. I was constipated for 9 days. 9 days. And on the 10th day, oh, mind you, I was suggested to take the capsule, you know, the one you stick up your, it didn't even work. I had to take it to the next level. I had to do an enema. Do you know what an enema is? Let me tell you, it's not pretty. And when you're pregnant, it's hard to do it yourself. My boyfriend had to do it for me. He said he never wants to experience that again. I don't blame him. Okay, third, you will pee on yourself. And I'm not saying no tinkle tinkle. I'm talking like I peed on myself and it was dripping on the floor. And if you got it bad like me, you'll be throwing up and peeing at the same time. I can't even count on one hand how many times I was throwing up and peeing all over the floor at the same time, and my boyfriend had to stand there with the towel because it was just puddling around me. Projectile vomit coming out of me while I'm pissing. You sneeze, you pee. You laugh too hard, you pee. I peed right there on the floor actually because he was trying to tickle me. And I told him, stop, I'm gonna pee. He gonna keep tickling me, and I did pee. And I made him clean it up. I don't know what number we're on, but your discharge is weird. Like, it's only happened a few times, but it came out like thick. And when I'm talking thick, I mean thick. Like, it was green and it looked like mucus, like real slimy. And last, it's not that gross, but I'm just letting you know, when you're hungry, you're hungry. Like, it's not like whenever you're not pregnant, you're like, oh, I'm hungry, but I can wait. No. When you're hungry, when you're pregnant, if you do not eat in that moment, you feel like you're gonna die. Like, and I'm not being dramatic. Like, I promise you, it feels like the world is ending. The stomach pains will have you groaning and moaning and just complaining and you're just mad at the world because you're just so hungry that you feel like you're gonna die. I've cried because I was so hungry before. And like, the cravings thing is no joke. It is not, because if I don't like get exactly what I want or what like she wants in that moment, like, I feel like I want to like my whole day is ruined if I don't. Like, it's just not pretty. And that's the normal gross stuff. But me, it's not gross. But if you're like me, I freaking been passing out almost every day. And I freaking basically lost my job because I cut hair. And I can't cut hair if I'm passing out. And it's because of the baby. So, just let you know, being pregnant is not a joke. Now I'm stuck at home. No money.
As women, our bodies are designed to get pregnant. That is to say that pregnancy is a physiological process. However, that doesn't mean that you would not experience a couple of things you haven't experienced. Well, I haven't been pregnant like I said before, but if you have experiences, especially the gross ones, I would like to hear it in the comment section down below so that we could all learn and educate each other.
Teenage pregnancy is a complex issue. It is a social issue that requires us to use tact and compassion when dealing with. Most importantly, I think we should give more access, enough access of the reproductive health care to the family, very safe for teenagers to open up to us, because sometimes I do feel like teenagers hide their pregnancies. They do all sorts of things because they do not have a safe space in their family. Anyways, tell me what you all think about this in the comment section down below. Please do share, like, comment, subscribe if you care, and I'll see you next time.